But his athleticism, his range, and his ability to hit as a tackler still gets me excited.
Seems like every year we got an Alabama linebacker or two to talk about, and this year's no different. Christian Harris, University of Alabama, 6'005", 226, 32 1/8 on the arm, 4.44 verified. Linebackers who can run and hit. It's usually a good combo. Keith, this was one of the guys in your bucket, one of the guys in your region. So what did you like about Christian Harris before we get to somebody on staff who might not be so much of a fan?
Man, so
Not me.
let's keep this thing simple. And it's simple. He can run, he can hit. When the combine came and he put down that 4.4, I don't think any of us were surprised, right? I think that was the expectation because that's what you've seen on film. Alabama, they continue to put him in space, and he really showed that he can cover backs out of backfield. He can run with that third guy vertically, and he can also run with tight ends. So in today's game, when you talk about a versatile linebacker, I think it's in high demand, and this is a guy that can do those type of things. In a run game, does he leave much to be desired as a true inside linebacker? Yes, but I think he did show when he can effectively blitz, and when he lines you up pretty good, he knocks you back. So this is a guy, I think he listed what we said 6 foot, 240 pounds. So when he arrives with some thump, and I think he's a very rangy player. So that's why I was excited about Christian Harris.
And he did cut into the high 220s to run, but that explosiveness is there even with his game weight, not necessarily his testing weight.
Yes.
Our colleague. So when I look at Christian Harris, I remember going into his background in high school. It speaks to his athleticism. He was a tight end and a cornerback.
Yep.
So like you see his level of comfort in space as a defender, and then he's a see ball get ball type of guy. There's a rep against Georgia where it's an outside zone to James Cook, and he beats him to the hole and lays him. Like just straight splatters him onto the ground. And it's just that type. I want to see him process better, but when he sees the ball, he triggers very well, and I'm comfortable with him dropping into hook zones, and he gives you that man coverage again with his cornerback background as well. He's just a great athlete, and like you said, keep it simple, baby. Let him chase, let him hit. If you do have issues with him as a processor, as a middle linebacker, we talk about it with other linebackers. Take that off his plate. Put him at the wheel. Let him run, chase, and let him play on the perimeter and allow his physical attributes to take over.
Brantley, I'll go to you. We're coming to you last, buddy. Okay? I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Christian Harris. I will say there was some high variance to some of the games you watch, right? I think Texas A&M, arguably one of the worst games I've seen coming from a linebacker. You see him get pushed out the club by guards. You see him kind of lack physicality at the point of attack. But then you put on other games, and then some of the things you really like about him definitely shine, right? You see the athleticism, you see the range, you see the physicality as a tackler, the burst, the acceleration as a blitzer. They're all there. And so for me, it's what Christian Harris are we going to get game to game, down to down, and I always like to look at, okay, what can this guy do in terms of where is he going to succeed at the NFL? And I think I see a very easy path to success because today's NFL is also so spaced out and so wide open, and everything is all about getting ball to your playmakers' hands. Well, defensively, we need guys who can corral those playmakers and really get to those spots and play laterally and play in space both in the run and in the pass, and I think Christian Harris can do that. So while I like the player, I recognize there are some limitations in terms of his ability to, really be firm against the run. But his athleticism, his range, and his ability to hit as a tackler still gets me excited. I think he's a really good player in the second round.
It's my turn now.
Go ahead, explain. First of all, explain why we're all so mad at you.
Mad at me because I've got a much lower grade on Mr. Harris. I have him as a fourth.
Else.
I have him as a fourth round grade. I remember when I saw all the grades in the spreadsheet, I was like, oh my God, I'm that guy on Christian Harris. I thought I was going to have some people along with me. You know what I mean? No, just me. The name that I couldn't get out of my head when I was watching him was Darren Lee. And I remember buying into Darren Lee because this is a guy with good speed and size, and you felt really good about, all right, let's just have him see ball, chase ball. He's got the athleticism to man up with guys in coverage, and you think to yourself, hey, there's a really clear path for him to be able to make an impact at the next level. And then, I pop on, continue to watch a Christian Harris tape, and I definitely recognize the size and speed that exists there. But I just feel like the processing is just not there right now. And especially playing, you guys mentioned, as a run defender, just taking on blocks with the wrong leverage, not really understanding run fits and weird angles to the football. And I recognize that he plays hard and he plays physical. Like, that's definitely there. I just don't know if the mental side's there, and hopefully he can take the steps there. And then in coverage, like, I don't know if I saw him the same way as you guys did, because I thought that's where he would have the redeeming qualities for me, where it's like, okay, yeah, well, maybe he's not a great downhill in the box player, but at least he can give me like plus ability in coverage. And I thought he was just okay in coverage. And so I thought he was more developmental, and I think if you get a 4th round grade for me, that means I'm viewing you as a guy that has a chance to start in a couple of years, but there's a developmental curve there. And I thought the curve was pretty steep, and steep enough for me to say, okay, all right, outside looking in when it comes to day 2 in terms of how I value the player.
Okay, so Joe, what would you say Christian Harris's best attribute is? What's the best part of his resume?
Speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a physical skill.
Yes.
What is there any other ones that you would identify as like plus qualities?
Size.
Okay. Are those traits?
Yep.
Why don't you want to bet on traits?
Yeah, because
I bet on everybody else's traits, but not Christian Harris.
I like it.
it's just because I feel like the path right now is just. I am going to bet. I'm going to bet him in the 4th round. Develop into. I'm going to develop into something. I just don't like. I don't know that you can put this guy on the field like in year 1 at all. So
Not even as a sub package guy.
Not even on teams.
I don't know. I feel like we say that so many times, but it's like, how often does that happen? Yeah, he should be a good teams player. But I'm not drafting that guy in the 2nd round because I think he can be a special teams player for me in year 1 that can occasionally play in sub. Like, I want a lot more consistency, and I guess I have high expectations for like an Alabama linebacker. Like, he just didn't give me the same vibes as I did for some of these other guys.
Well, we're getting bad vibes here.
Yeah, no, and I would say I agree with some of the things Joe said, right? But we have to keep in context of how the NFL game is going, and then I think a lot of teams are willing to compromise on linebackers being able to play the run nowadays if they give you plus level ability to cover those wide receivers in the slot and those tight ends and those backs out of the backfield. So I guess it's really just putting him in a proper place, right? Maybe this is a linebacker that is extremely specific in what you have to ask him to do, but I think in those specificities, he can be really good at it.
Christian Harris, one of the more polarizing players that we've had in our top 100, but carrying an 80.00 consensus grade from the TDN scouting staff.